this is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to continue working on a layout for my Oahu. I always say that wrong. I want to put an H at the beginning. My visit to Oahu with my husband last year. And this is a layout that I previously completed, and I am going back and adding some photos, and I just thought it might be interesting to kind of show you how I'm going to go ahead and do that, because I'm going to modify the layout just a little bit in order to accommodate the photos that I want to do, that I want to include on this layout. So come along with me. I'm going to just show you kind of how I utilize my layouts that I put together blindly without any photos, so that you can kind of see how they can be incorporated into my album and into yours if you are creating these layouts along with me and don't necessarily have the photos ready to go that you want to use on your pages right when you're making them. It is possible to go ahead and use them and make them beautiful and incorporate them seamlessly into your album. So let's check out my workspace and we'll get started. All right, so this is my workspace for today, and you'll recognize this as the second half of the page from last week. And excuse me, this was the last layout that we did with for Oahu with the fire dancers. Kind of fun. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look here. So remember I said that I was going to utilize a layout that I had already created. So let me just refresh your memory. This is the layout that I created already, and you may recognize it. It used this really cool vellum and had some really neat we used the sailboat punch, and we shadowed it with some like yellow paper, this yellow paper right here behind it. So it turned out really super cute, and really like this layout. But it's not functional for what I need exactly the way it is, so I have to make a couple of adjustments, and I just thought it might be a good kind of lesson for us all together if we could if you could see the way that I'm going to do this. So see these mats down here? As I suspected when I put this layout together, these mats are actually too small for what I want to use this layout for. So I'm going to need to change a couple of things, and on this side we're going to just cut the photos down, but on this side we're going to actually change it. So follow me for just a second. I'm going to grab my trimmer. We're going to use this photo of us that is of the sail for the boat. So first of all, let me just explain. We were looking for something to do on this particular day, and the day before we happened by an area in our hotel where they were talking about different excursions you could go on, and they said that the Hilton, which was right next door, had an excursion where they would take us to go snorkeling in an area called Turtle Bay, which sounded fun. I had never been snorkeling before. Snorkeling was not anything I've ever experienced, and I was a little nervous, to be honest. I am not the best swimmer, and if you've been following this series through all of our adventures here in Oahu, then you will know that I had some experiences early on in our trip that just sort of reaffirmed the fact that I'm not a strong swimmer and the ocean is in charge, right? So I was a little hesitant, but trying to be brave because I knew my husband really wanted to go. And I thought, well, okay, I can, it was one of those I can do this kind of moments, right? And so I decided that I would make this work. Well, I didn't realize until we were on the boat, because I hadn't really thought about it, until we were on the boat and in the ocean and ready to get in the water. I wear glasses. Have you ever tried to go in the ocean and see something when you have to take your glasses off and put a mask on your face? Yeah, it was not the best plan on my part. And so I did get in the water. I did put my face in the water. I couldn't see hardly anything, unfortunately, unless it was right in front of my face. But I did do it. And so I suppose the takeaway is that I did conquer a fear, and I did have a wonderful new experience, and I would love to try it again, but not unless I went to the expense of getting a prescription pair of goggles to wear so that I could actually see. Now, I suppose the redeeming portion of that story is that we really didn't see very much. There were a few fish, but not a ton of them. And so, we were not in Hanauma Bay or anything where there's, just tons of colorful fish. So there was that. It wasn't as big of a letdown as I suppose it could have been, but still. Word to the wise, if you wear glasses, make sure you get some prescription goggles if you're going to go snorkeling, right? Okay, so I'm just measuring these mats because I really didn't remember the size. And this one was 4 1/4 by 3 1/4, which made it really easy to just cut my photo down to a 4 by 3. It fits in that mat just perfect. I'm going to cut this photo down to a 3 by 3 square, which basically just means that I find the middle of that measurement, which is 1 1/2. I find what I want to be the middle of my photograph, and I place that at the 1 1/2 mark, and then I can I can center the focus of my photo and just trim it down just a little. Okay, so sometimes you may not want to trim your photo down, and there were a few photos that I'm going to add that I didn't want to trim down. So those are going to go into peekaboo pockets, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that in just a second. This is the only turtle that we saw while we were there. It must have been about an odd time, or they got scared away or something, I don't know, but it was supposed to be the main attraction, was seeing the turtles, and for some reason they just weren't there. So unfortunate for us, but it all worked out. All right, what I need to find out is the size of this circle so that I can get my custom cutting circles out and cut a circle that will go into this one. So that's a little bit over 3 inches. Give me just a second. Let me find the circle that's going to work best for that. I may need to get my templates out because I'm feeling a little visually challenged at the moment. Let's see. Oh, it's a little bit bigger than that one. So it's probably that one. It is. Okay, so that means that The one just smaller than that is going to be this one. Blue blade from the large circle in the center. All right. So I'm going to grab my blue blade and put my template back. And we'll come over here and we'll cut out Mr. Turtle because he's the star, even though he's going to be kind of off here to the side. I do have to say it was really fun. Not being a super strong swimmer, what they do is they have this floating mat. It was sort of a 5 foot by 7 foot mat or something along that line, that was tethered to the boat and went off the back. So when we stepped off of the platform to get in the water, we could immediately grab onto the floating mat and just sort of hang on, and then we didn't have to worry about drifting away or anything like that. So that was really nice and helped me feel a lot more secure. My husband went and swam all around me and would come back and say, I can see this and I can't see that. And put your face in the water, see if you can see this or that. And I would try, but unless it was right below me, it was pretty hard for me to see. So that's all right though. Just so that we didn't feel like we were missing everything, the lovely people that worked on the boat actually would go and dive down and bring up things from the ocean floor for us to see, which was nice because then we could actually get to see and touch and experience what everyone else was experiencing. I was not the only one, I don't think, that was caught unawares and didn't think that one completely through. Now every time I watch Notting Hill and he talks about having prescription goggles, I think to myself, yes, I have been there, done that. I know exactly the dilemma. Anyway, so if you're going to go to Hawaii or any place else where you know you're going to want to get in the water and see, make sure you have some goggles. Okay, now I'm going to kind of just offset this photo because I want to see that turtle, and if I put it all the way down here inside the frame, the turtle's going to get lost somewhere in here just because of the level that he was at in the photo that I took. So I'm just going to sort of leave him kind of offset to the side. I think he'll be just fine there. All right, so let me just mount these two photos up here, and these are 4x6 mats. So I just cut these photos down by 1/4 inch in either direction so that they would mat nicely inside the cardstock that I already had on my page. So this actually goes together usually pretty quickly when we already have all the fun stuff is already on the page for us. I'm just going to go ahead and adhere the page to, adhere the base page to my hinged page so that it is good to go and a part of my album. There we go. Okay, so that side is good to go. And that just just moved just a little bit, but I think it's good. Solid. Okay. Now we're going to move over here to the left, or to the right hand side of the layout. I'm going to just move this page that's done out of the way just so that we can focus on this page. Now, these are the two layouts, or I'm sorry, two mats that I'm going to remove. And you can see how there is a little bit of color that comes up with my adhesive. That is to be expected. So you have to, if you're going to modify something that you've already glued the mats onto, or adhered the mats to, you have to expect that there is going to be a little bit of a mark. Now, because of the nature of the paper that I have on here, it's not as noticeable because this paper has brush strokes in the markings that are already on it. So we don't have to worry about it sticking out like we would if it was a solid color page. But just know that if you're going to lift up your paper that you've already adhered, you will end up with some marks. But you see, they're very difficult to notice. I think they're difficult to notice on this particular type of paper. All right, this page is going to get a modified mat, and I have a whole nother sheet of this matching paper so I can cut my mats accordingly. We're going to, I've already selected some photos that I'm going to put into some peekaboo pockets. These 4 photos will be in peekaboo pockets, 2 of them, that we're going to do a waterfall of peekaboo pockets above this photo, which is going to get a mat. So I'm going to trim this one down so that I can make, so I can use a 4x6 mat. And actually, I may, now that I'm thinking about it, I may not even need to cut another mat. But let's just see what we end up doing. So that guy's going to go into a peekaboo pocket. I did not trim him because of the peekaboo pocket. The peekaboo pocket actually holds on to the photo at the full 4x6 size. If you've never used a peekaboo pocket, this is one. I'm going to use 2 of them, so I'm going to take 2 of them out so that they are ready. And I cut this one down so that I can use a 4x6 mat around it, and it will be adhered to my page, and then the photos that are in the peekaboo pockets will go over the top of it. All right, and then let's see, I have this photo right here of my husband standing up and holding on to the little vent in the top of the roof to stabilize himself. So we're going to just take a 1/4 inch off of each side of that one so that it fits in a mat up there on top. All right, now another thing I was going to share with you is my plan to use this, and let me explain what this is. So not too long ago, Creative Memories came out with some special holders, some special envelopes that will adhere to your page. I've used a couple of them in my Disney album and this Oahu album, or maybe the first one that we have done. But I wanted to show you how you can put a pamphlet or something that you want to keep, like this voucher or this fold out, that maybe if you don't have the travel pockets or the I can't remember what they called them specifically. I'm trying to rack my brain and it's not coming to me. Anyway, you can use a peekaboo pocket for these. You don't have to enclose them completely, although if you have something that's gonna break down fairly quickly like newspaper, you probably don't want to put that the way I'm going to utilize this today. But because this paper is probably not going to break down super fast because it's kind of, you can see it's glossy, right? So I'm going to just put it in an open peekaboo pocket, and this is a smaller peekaboo pocket. It's not a 4x6, which used to be the smallest one we had. These are the even smaller size, which I think just went on, they either just went to last chance or they may be all gone, I'm not sure. But anyway, this is 4 1/4 by 3, basically a 4x3. And I'm just using it as a placeholder for this pamphlet that I want to be able to remove and take a look at. If I should ever want to go back to Oahu, I'd like to remember how much things were and what the other things were that they offered. So I'm going to, rather than folding this over and adhering it so that I can flip it up and down and see on both sides, I am just going to go ahead and adhere this to the back, or adhere this to my page, and then add some adhesive to the back of this so that it is stable and stuck to my page, and it'll be right here on the edge of my page so that I can lean it out and pull it out whenever I want to look at it. Okay, so that said, I don't need this mat right up here because it's going to interfere with this. Well, not interfere, but it just, my pamphlet's going to block this mat, so I don't need this mat here. So let me see if I can go ahead and get this to come off with relative ease. I can, oh, a visiting doggo upstairs is greeting someone. Okay, so we've got our extra blue mat, and we're going to put our voucher right here. I'm going to actually place it fairly close to the bottom, and I'm going to use my permanent adhesive because I want to make sure that it's going to stick and stay really well. It'll have adhesive across the top of the peekaboo pocket, and I'm just adding just a little bit across the bottom. All right, so we'll go ahead and peel this off. And I always fight the static cling. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and just place this an equal distance from the edge and the bottom so that it looks nice. And go ahead and just get that stuck down. All right, so that's going to go there. I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the back of my cute husband's photo as he eats his granola bar, and we cruised around the harbor there, and so there, he's good there. Then we're gonna, I think maybe rather than cutting a new mat, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep this mat since we've already got it. And we'll just use it down here on the bottom. All right. Still eating his granola bar in this picture too. Okay, and I'm just going to add a couple of pieces of fresh adhesive, not that these won't still stick because they are still very sticky, but just because. Then we're going to go ahead and add this at the same height with my peekaboo pocket over here. And then these will go on the outside of the page protector So I'm going to take a look at my peekaboo pocket. This piece with the adhesive that's meant to fold is going to fold over the opening and then adhere. So that's how I tell which is going to be the top of my peekaboo pocket. And I'm just going to put those photos together and slide them right in. You can see how they fit just perfect. And then this was looking back at Honolulu and Diamond Head. And this is a closer look at Diamond Head as we cruised down there. This is after we went snorkeling, so we are all just enjoying the warm sun and cruising with the boat. But you can see this is a type of sea star that they pulled up from the bottom of the ocean to show those of us, especially those of us who were unable to see clearly or maybe didn't see any fish. They brought this to show and share with us. So that was kind of fun. So then we will go ahead and adhere these photos together so that and they'll be offset just a hair, just about 1/4 of an inch, and they'll go right over the top of this photo down here so that they can be opened up and we can look at them just like that. All right. Now, the one other thing I need to add to this page is this was day 7, and so we need to add our day 7 marker so that we realize and remember that this was a new day in paradise. All right. And we need to adhere this page to the hinged page. So I'm just going to flip this over and go ahead and add adhesive to this so that we can get it put into my book. So this was a pretty quick thing to share with you. My next layout I'm going to do is similar in that it is also a layout that I've already completed that I'm just adding photos to. So I will let's take a look and see what it is that we need to do for that one. And I think I'll include that with this video just so that it's all, so that they're both together. But here is our finished 2 pages. Really adds, when you add the photos, it really adds a lot to the page. If you watched me when I put this one together, you can tell what a big difference it is when you actually have the photos. But anyway, let's get started on the other one, and we will just go ahead and move on, all right? So this layout, you'll recall, was for, oh, I'm drawing a total blank. This was an ocean-themed paper that we had that came out earlier this year, and this cool little dolphin punch, which was a border maker cartridge, came out as well. And sorry, my phone was dinging. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't one of my kids. Nope, we're good. All right. So we've got some enlargements this time that we're adding to this page. And we sort of planned for an enlargement here, but it's going to need to be cut down. So that's actually more of a 4x6 size photo that I had planned for there. So let's see what we can do. I want to I want to use these 3 photos here on this page. And you may be saying to yourself, well, one of them is round and who knows how big we ought to make that, but I can tell you now that's going to be a 4-inch circle. So we just need to pull out our custom cutting system for a 4-inch circle. And this one down here may be slightly smaller than that, but if you'll recall, I adhered this only at the top. So we should be able to fit a photo underneath there. It may need to be a little smaller though, because I can't put it all the way up to the top. You can see that. So let's decide what we want. And this one is actually going to utilize this more as a mat than this. So we really won't need that if we do it this way. Excuse me. And then these 2 over here are also enlargements. I just loved the way the sun was coming through the clouds and shining down on the ocean, and in these photos as well. It was just gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. So this one, I think, is the one that I decided I wanted to go ahead and have the whole photo showing. And this one I'm going to cut trim so that it will fit right here in this circle. And then we've got, of course, the driftwood journal box down here where I can note where these photos were taken. These, if you're familiar with Oahu, if you're familiar at all with the Marine Corps base, these pictures were taken near a housing area on that Marine Corps base. And so this was a private beach right off of that area, and just really beautiful. And you can't really see it in these photos, but there were some surfers. There's always surfers, but there were some surfers out here who were having a good time and enjoying the surf that the storm had kind of picked up and brought in, which was lovely. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this photo down, and I think what I'm going to do is try and remove this one so that maybe I can use this paper for something else, and maybe we'll see it later on in another layout in this album. Who knows? But I'm gonna rescue that paper, and I'm gonna rescue this paper over here as well, so that we can use that, because there's no point in just covering it up and losing it. It's too pretty to just lose it. All right, so we'll save those for another time. Thankfully, you can see I had used repositionable adhesive, which helps, but it still picks up the color off the paper. You can see the dots very clearly. So just know, just because you're using repositionable adhesive doesn't mean that you're not going to damage your paper if you pick something up. It will take the color with it. All right, so I'm just going to center this so that the border of color on either side is roughly the same, and the top and the bottom is roughly the same, and I'm just eyeballing it. All right, so there's that, and then we'll do the same thing with this guy right here. The layout we're going to do next time is also of photos from this same area of the island, but a different portion of the beach. So we'll come up with a new layout for those. All right, so let's see. I'm going to need my 4-inch circle, which is not that one. That one's too big. That one is too big. So let me just see if this one, red blade, small circle on the outside edge. So actually I think the green blade on the outside edge is better. It gives me a better, I like that one better. So green blade, small circle, outside edge. And that's going to be the same for both of these because they were both the same size circle. So let me grab green blade, small circle. All right. And I'm gonna just include some of the, trying to center this because this is a 4-inch, I only have 4 inches wide, so I want this to be as bang on the nose centered as possible so I don't have flat sides to my circle on the edges. I am going to have a little bit of a flat side over there. But that's all right. If I had cut it just a little smaller, I probably would not have a flat side. But that's the way it goes. And that will be okay. All right, so for this one, I want to make sure I have that beautiful, this beautiful sun spray in that, and I want some of the beach, and I want some of the bushes, and a little bit of the clouds. So I'm just kind of trying to make sure I get all of that in before I trim. All right, so that one will go right there. Pretty. Okay, and then this one, I think we're gonna need something a little bit smaller, as I said before. So it should be the same size, but because of the adhesive, as I said before, I'm gonna need a smaller circle. So let me grab my template again. Templates for the win. All right, let's see which one of these is going to work. Okay, that one actually will be just perfect. That is the red blade with the large circle in the center. Pardon me, I dropped one of my templates. There we go. Okay. So the large circle with the red blade in the center. All right, so here we've got the red blade, and I want just a little bit of, I really don't want the stairs, I don't think. Or do I want the stairs? Maybe the stairs would be okay. We can have a little bit of the stairs. All right, so let's just trim it right there. It'll be fine. Okay, I ended up with a little tail. I always end up with a little bitty tail when I use my circles. I don't know what I'm doing that causes that, but I'm sure it's me. Anyway, okay. So let's make sure this is going to work. Slip this under here. Beautiful. Super nice. I like that. All right, so let's get some adhesive on our circles and get these put down. Okay. And the great thing about using layouts that you've already put together is you've already taken all the time that you needed to embellish and do all of the fun extra stuff. And so now all I need to do is my journaling and I'll be good to go with these pages. Just super fun. We got 4 pages done in the same amount of time that we normally would do just one, but that's because we put all the work in before. So anyway, I hope this has been fun and helped you in some way, and next time we'll do a full layout, but I just wanted to take a minute and kind of show you how sometimes I modify my existing layouts, the blank ones that I create, that you see me create on my channel, and this is how I incorporate them into my albums with my photographs at a later date. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you have many more creative moments. Until next time, you take care. Bye-bye.